I'm back out in the lakes again today, and I've decided to come into the woods this time because it's quite grey, and although there is a few blue patches up there, so maybe we'll get some nice sunny patches coming through the trees soon. But what I've done is I've come up to where my usual spot is, and I kind of just got busted watering the plants, and I was over in a different area. So what I'm going to do is there's a little stream down here, so I'm going to stay over this side for a little bit, wait for them people to go, and then we'll head somewhere else. But the water is going down here, and I imagine there's going to be like a few pools of water with the falls coming down. Like, it sounds like there's a bigger fall down there, and I think there's one just here. So we'll have a little wander down by the water's edge, see if we can work something out, and if not, we'll just suck it up and go the other way. I quite like the look of this bit here, because we've got this bit of water coming down there. There is also a pool there, which is quite nice looking, although this bit here, oh god, could make a nice portrait shot, because there's a little bit of a stream coming through there. Don't really like this tree though. We've got one option. It's not quite what I had in my head. I'm not sure what I'm really looking for, but we'll head down a little bit more, see if there's anything better, but we might come back to this. We'll give this one a try. I like how the logs are coming down. Oh God. Yeah, we've got the branches. There's like a pool. So maybe if we've got a bit of a longer exposure, we can get something here. I'm just going to try out the 24-70 to begin with. That's the widest lens that I've got. And I'm feeling a portrait shot, just because I don't really like the edges. I think it's a bit, it's kind of messy, although it is still quite pretty. Maybe it'll frame it quite nicely. I don't really know, I'm just talking shit now. We'll just get on with it and see what comes out. Looking through the camera, I'm not so sure anymore. Maybe a landscape shot will work better, but just going for a tighter crop and just getting the basin, getting this branch on the right hand side. Well, it's a log, it's quite a big one. And then the greens will surround all the darks. I'm not really feeling it. We'll give it a try. I think I've got something that I'm quite happy with now. Initially I thought I wanted a portrait shot, and I might actually try that next from further back, but from where I stood to begin with, I think it works better as a landscape shot just because of the surroundings and what you can see. So I've got the camera set up here, and we're getting this basin of water here, and I'm not a big fan of all this area. I think it's like a lot of nothing. So I've gone for a tighter crop, then we're getting this really dark area contrasting with all the greens. I'm not really sure how I feel about this one though. I always find that with the photos that I have to explain more, it's sort of big words by a boring photo, which, yeah, I kind of talk myself out of things. So maybe it looks better than I'm thinking, but I'm not fully convinced about this one. Maybe it's just not quite the right light. So we'll wait here for a bit longer. I'm gonna have a bit of a play, and hopefully here's a photo that I'm happy with. I do like the basin of water, but I think it might be the longer exposure that I'm not too keen on. So maybe that's where I'm going wrong. Maybe I might try a faster shutter speed and try and avoid that streak of water in the background, because that's a little bit distracting to me. So maybe a faster shutter speed will fix that, but I'm going to shut up and get on with it. When I took the last photo, I was looking through the live view, but now when I'm looking through this viewfinder, the composition looks better if it's framed slightly higher up, and we're getting less of these rocks in the bottom, because those bright greens up there do actually look quite nice. Maybe it's just because they're quite small, so I think that might be a step in the right direction. So we'll change that and see if it looks better. I think with those two small changes, it's actually made it better. I've moved it up and done a slightly tighter crop, and I've increased the ISO to 100 from 50, and I've dropped the aperture to f8 rather than f11, so we're getting a faster shutter speed. We're still getting a bit of motion in the water where it's coming down, and we're probably still getting some of the bubbles on the top, so we're not making it like a perfectly flat top and getting a few imperfections, which I quite like because they're there and it's more natural. So yeah, step in the right direction. I'm going to leave that there for a few more minutes, see if the sun comes out. Maybe we'll get a nice beam of light coming through. Doesn't feel like it's going to happen, but I'm going to have a quick wander down there, see what else is here. I don't think we are going to get that beam of light, but it has got a tiny bit brighter. You got to squint when you look up at the grey sky now, so maybe that's as good as it's going to get. So I think we should try a portrait shot, and then maybe we can get more of the stream up there, get this basin in the bottom, come into this bit here, and then yeah, we might not be able to get this big branch on the right, but I think there's something there. I think I've got something set up here that I like now as well, and there's the sun. So gone for a higher composition and looking down into that basin. Now from here you can also see the top falls. You can see that one that we could see before, and you're getting the reflections of the trees, so that's these ones here. But down in this one you're also getting the trees that are high up reflecting, so we're getting sort of a nice tree reflection here, the dark basin, and then getting the falls in the background. In the last video where I was photographing stepping stones, I was talking about the polarizer, and I found the shots that I did without the polarizer looked a little bit better because you could see those reflections, but I do also want some of that polarizing effect, so I'm not going to twist it all the way, just going to get rid of some of the glare on the background but not get rid of all of it, so those tree reflections are still visible down in the bottom basin. So I think this is going to come together quite nicely, and this one might be worth waiting for. So there seems to be a little bit of a break in the clouds coming up, so I'm going to get comfy and we'll see what happens here. It's not looking like we're going to get any strong backlighting, but there has been a few subtle changes, and it's changed the appearance of the water a little bit, at least it has in my eyes. We'll see how it looks on the screen later. So I'm going to give this another 10 minutes, but I think we're going to head up to that other basin and see if we can get something slightly different again. I'm pretty happy with those, so we're going to head up to that next bit, see what we can get. Now when I first got to this bit again, I wasn't that impressed, and I carried on wandering up here, and it's totally different. There's sort of a gap between the rocks. One side is covered in moss, well, both sides are covered in moss. There's a load of trees, a bit awkward to get to, but hopefully won't fall in the water. And what I've done here is I've tried to put the tripod legs where there isn't going to be any camera shake, so it's kind of awkwardly just wedged in here now, but what we're getting is we can look up this bit here, so we've got all the water coming through, and we've got the trees crossing over. Now I wanted to avoid this one, but because of all these branches that are coming in, I've decided to get the edge of that, otherwise it's just going to be some random branches. So gone for a portrait shot looking up here, and I think it's going to work out really nice. There's a fall at the back, and yeah, just totally different to what we had before, and it's totally different to what I expected. We can also get rid of all this glare with the polarizer, so I think this is all going to come together quite nicely. What I'm also going to do with this one is drop the ISO right down and do a longer exposure, and with that polarizer on, we're going to be able to see all the rocks underneath, and although it's going to make the waterfall at the back just like a white line, I think here it's going to be worth the compromise, because otherwise it's just going to be a dark strip, and if we can see all the rocks underneath, I think it'll look quite cool. We've also got the rocks on the edges, and although with my eyes it doesn't look like a cave, it just looks like a rock sticking out. On the back here it kind of looks like, I don't know, like a tunnel entrance or something. So the sunlight's just come out as well, so we're getting some nice light on the back here. This is pretty cool. I'm glad I got caught watering the plants, because I wouldn't have come up here. This has worked out really well. That's made it way brighter. We can get a slightly faster shutter speed now as well. 5 seconds. That sun's also adding some backlighting onto these plants. That's totally different. I'm getting some really nice shadows. So I'm going to take a few as this is changing. I think what I'm going to do now is stay in this area for a little bit and have a play around with these falls here, see if I can come away with something different. But I'm going to end the video here, because I think that might be the best bit. That was kind of cool, as all the sun came through, and then we got all the different shadows and all the light spots. So fingers crossed that'll be available as a print over at adamkappa.co.uk. Got pretty good hopes for that one, and the middle photo as well. So that's worked out really well, and yeah, I'm glad I came up here. I've walked past this loads of times, so maybe I just need to pay more attention in the future. But if you want to see more videos like this, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.